Hello, Bigfoot enthusiast. Scott here from Squatch America.
Hannah, the domestic and gardening goddess in the paddy wagon. Guess what I have today, honey?
What?
I've got a baby jalapeno growing.
Yes, she's got
It's
a baby
like
jalapeno.
really, it's like this tiny, but it's there. It's hanging off the leaf. It's so beautiful.
So hi, everybody in chat. Yeah, and it was like, it's been weird here in Baker. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was snowing. And today it was 80. And look, I'm getting my farmer's tan going.
I got me too.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. There we go.
And then
he's calling me Farmer Hannah now.
So we don't have we didn't have spring. We had winter and then we had summer. So that's how that worked.
Anyway.
So we got a great show for you tonight. So shall we get into this?
Let's play the intro.
Let's play the intro. All right. Hello. We're going to be talking about my 2 favorite things tonight.
Bigfoot and
coffee.
yes.
So.
And just so you know, this is like, I put up a funny meme. If you guys don't follow me on Facebook, if you're not my Facebook friend, you really need to be, because I put some great stuff on my page every day. And today it was a meme about how we're getting into the season where people say it's too hot to be coffee. Those people do not understand coffee and they are not to be trusted.
They are not.
So it has been a long work day for us. We've been out. Oh, you can tell them what you've been up to. But this hot cup of coffee right now, best thing I have had in my mouth all day long.
All right. And speaking of coffee, our special guests tonight are
Kim and Paul Rudder from they are the Bigfoot Coffee Company in Medford, Oregon.
Hello, Kim and Paul. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Great. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing real good.
How's the weather down there? Do I even want to ask?
It's the same as it is there. We had snow the beginning of the month. It was 80 today. It's supposed to rain and be in the 50s this weekend. So
yeah, same.
Yeah.
All right.
Insanity.
Not sure what it's doing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mama Nature is delusional.
Yep. So we want to ask you, my favorite question I ask all of my guests who come on is, what got you into Bigfoot?
Well, Paul's nickname is Squatch.
Okay.
So, he's always liked Bigfoot. He actually has a Bigfoot story. He can share that with you.
Yeah, my sons called me Squatch because I told them about a story and something that happened to me back when I was in high school. A friend of mine and I we were going to go camping, local just up here. In Southern Oregon, you can just drive into the woods within 5 minutes and you're up in the woods. So there's a couple of places that it was known for camping. It's really open. It's almost like a deck where they did logging a long time ago. And so we were driving up. It was getting a little bit dusk. And we passed through, there's 2 areas. We passed through the first one. I said, let's go to the second one. Already has a fire pit built. So as we're going to the second one, it's about a quarter mile away, straight road. And as we're going along, out of the blue, right across the road, large, 8 feet or so tall, kind of did a sidestep, kind of half looked at us, turned and kept walking. And I looked at my friend and he looked at me. We didn't even say a word to each other. He stopped the truck, backed up, and we left. And we really haven't talked about it, or he doesn't want to talk about it. And for me, it's hard to say Bigfoot, but there's nothing that it could have been. Back then, there wasn't any people hoaxing things. There was not, all this kind of stuff happening. It wasn't there. And it was walking upright, 2 legs, right across the road. And I never even thought back then, Bigfoot hunting or anything, to go and see tracks or anything like that. It was just it happened, and it's a story I have now. And I haven't really been looking for Bigfoot, but I did have that one story I had.
Well,
So
that's
his
cool.
sons, they called him, Squatch, and their friends called him Squatch, and they'd come over to the house, and then they'd go back with their own families, and they'd be like, "Who told you that, Squatch? Who's Squatch? Drew's dad?"
None of them knew him by my first name. They all knew me by Squatch.
Oh,
So I'd
there
tell
you
them
go.
stupid things I did when I was a kid, and then they would do it, and they said, "Well, who told you about doing that?" And they'd say you say Squatch, and they never could figure out who it was, which was nice.
Oh, that's cool.
So, for frame of reference, Squatch, if you were standing, how tall are you? Because you're pretty tall.
I'm 6'1", about two. Well, then I was 6'1", probably about 200 pounds back then. I'm 280 now. But what we saw took up, I would say, at least a third of the road, just a regular forestry road, and the actual step it took, or the steps, was huge. I mean, the steps itself, it came out, took a step, took a second step, turned and looked, and it took another. It was like 4 steps across a forestry road. So it was a pretty good sized stride that went across. You could see its head, you could see the back, almost like not having much of a neck in the back. Huge shoulders. I remembered just reminding me of bodybuilders with no neck. And of course, the big thing too was the arms themselves. They seemed longer than you or I when it walked or did its stride. So, and that's vivid. Every time I talk about it, I get goosebumps every time. So it's something that definitely was something I wasn't looking for or was expecting that day for sure.
Yeah, and that's a great sighting. Yeah, especially when you talk about the no neck. That's a pretty common thing that we hear, because they're just big. And Donna had a question. Okay, and so why do you think most visual encounters told mention that Bigfoot, when seen, casually walks away and briefly glances over at the spectators?
I have a theory.
Hannah has a theory.
My theory is that we are like flies.
Yeah.
And they really don't. I mean, granted, we hear stories particularly about juveniles being interested in us. Of course, our juveniles like to pull wings off of flies, right?
Yeah.
I really think that big. It's
Words
like
much?
disdain. There's almost like a sense of disdain, like not those human specks again. That's kind of where I'm going with that.
Yeah, and I think too that they don't. I think they see us as a threat, but not that big of a threat. And I think when they see us, that we're not that scary, I guess, to them, and they turn and walk away. I mean, almost. I don't know if running's much in their habit. They're not in a habit of running so much. Maybe unless you're chasing down deer
or racing an ATV.
Yeah, that too. We actually got a video in Maine of them running next to one running next to an ATV.
That was funny.
Wow.
But
I was funny.
but
just I think it communicates that you think you're so bad, but you're really not. So I'm just going to keep moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Renee says he likes to show his backside. That could be it too. Whoop.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. So, and Papa says that's the way he looked at Nana and him. It's like,
yeah, we had some people in the chat. Let's see, where'd that go?
You just had it.
Yeah. He said that's the way they looked at him. And even in the Patterson film, there's like, it's just walking and it looks back and just to see where you're at, make sure you're not chasing them or whatever, and then just keeps walking away. So that's really cool. That's a great encounter. When was that? About what year?
That was in the early 80s. And that's why I say it wasn't that prevalent. Of course, we live in the area where there's the Bigfoot trap at Applegate Lake that everybody's known about.
Yeah.
So it's been here in the area. We're known for a long time. But I've never had any sort of, I've lived in hunted, everything, camping, Boy Scouts, all that kind of stuff in the woods. Never heard any like tree knocks or sounds of any, that's affiliated with a Bigfoot. And then this happened, and I'm like, wow, that was close. And I mean, from the crow's distance from Medford was probably less than 25 miles. But it was in pretty deep canyons that the area we were in. So, but yeah, it was definitely one of those experiences that you talk about, and people kind of go, yeah,
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'm telling you, every time I even think or talk about it, it brings me back to that same day that it took place, just instantly, and my feelings and stuff. It was pretty incredible.
What were your feelings when you were experiencing that? What was your response?
Now, careful when she asks you, how did that make you feel? Remember, she is a psychologist.
But at first, we were just talking, having a good talk going there. All of a sudden, you catch this, and we had our headlights on, but it still wasn't dark yet. It stepped out, and for a minute, your brain kind of shuts off and goes, what is that? I've been in the woods. That's not any sort of thing I've ever seen. Thinking of the bear or anything like that. 2 legs. And you're thinking, oh, it's somebody walking across the road. And then you realize it's too big. It's huge. The size of it. And I've seen elk. I've seen bear in the woods. And it puts, the size of an elk to its size. I was like, holy crap, this is definitely a Bigfoot is what I'm thinking. Scared because we didn't bring any sort of like guns or anything, so we didn't know what was going to happen. And it just kind of looked over and just went off. And he looked at me and I looked at him, and his instinct was just to get out of there because I didn't know if the thing was going to go follow us in the woods. And if we were camping there, we were just about to stop and set up a camp within another minute down the road. So it definitely would have known we were in the area. So there's so many things going on at that time. But first off was just shock to see something like that. Then to realize it's on 2 legs. Then you start looking at the size, and your brain just goes, what is it? What is it? And you start thinking of everything you've seen in the woods. And nothing was coming up. And then immediately you just go right to, that's a Bigfoot. It has to be. There's no other explanation to see something like that in the woods and that size.
Oh, that definitely, and it kind of changes your paradigm too of the world. Like I know a lot of people when they get their first visual of a Bigfoot or something, that they make it basically they question their existence from then on, and so. Did you get that kind of a feeling too, where it's like, oh, the world's bigger than I thought it was? Or
well, you realize when I started going hunting, I was looking over my shoulder way more often. Then you get those feelings of being watched, and then you start looking around, trying to find signs or hear something. So it definitely changed a lot, for sure. To think that there is something else that is out there, but eventually we're going to be able to get the information and to be able to prove it for sure.
Okay. All right. Donna says, most animals scatter when humans are close. Bigfoot has the intelligence to view us as a nuisance. I wonder what the behavior is. Well, I think that speaks to one thing. One, there are animals, and then there are animals.
Yeah.
We are animals. We are more self-aware animals, cognitively advanced animals,
intelligent.
Yes. So that speaks to Bigfoot being closer to us than, say, Miss Daisy back here.
Yeah.
But I wonder what the behavior, what are you asking? What you're wondering, what behavior of ours makes them think we're a nuisance? Well, human.
She's talking to Donna. Okay.
Talking to Donna, yeah. Well, humans are kind of a nuisance most of the time, as we can see in the world. But
Yeah.
I think we stink. Think about so I don't know. This is just I've got a fair amount of cross-cultural experience through social work and education and all that. And there are other cultures on the planet that, to my Western olfactory senses, stink. I won't name them, but people that eat a lot of fermented foods all the time smell different than we do, and it's kind of off-putting because I'm used to a different smell profile. Certain animals stink, right? So honestly, I think that humans, we know that animals in the woods can smell us. I think we probably smell really bad to them, especially based, oh gosh, I'm reading the best book about how modern agriculture is killing us. But I think based on our diet alone, I'll bet we just smell horrible to everything out there. That's just my theory, my thought.
Well, with that, Renee says I stink pretty. So
that's because your chakras are aligned, sweetheart.
Yeah. So I'm going to take a second real quick and kind of break from the conversation, say hi to some of the people in chat because we haven't done that yet. So hi, Renee and
Papa and
Damien and Papa, the normal crowd. Hi, Squatch and Cowboy down there in Texas, and Damien from Ireland.
And Red Eyes.
And Red Eyes, who is listening while he's working. So there we go.
And to everyone else who is not in the chat, but we know you're there anyway because we can see how many people are watching.
Yes, we know you're there. We got a counter. So it's time to take a little commercial break really quick. And before we do that, I want to say thank you all for all the likes and subscribes and stuff. Because we just hit 1,700 subscribers.
Woo! So, and what do we have for you for that? Our thank yous. So we should set a goal though. When we hit 2,000, when we hit 2,000 subscribers, Scott will do a show without a hat.
Oh no, that ain't happening.
Well, we got to give him something. What are we going to do for 2,000 subscribers?
No, we're going to do something big for 10,000.
No, we got to do something for 2.
Okay. Anyway,
I think if you think he should do a show without a hat, put a 1 in the chat.
Okay, there we go. So time for our quick commercial break. Here we go, Hannah.
All right, so friends, we now live in a very dangerous world. The unthinkable could happen any day now, and actually, I don't even think they're unthinkable.
Okay.
If you can think it, it's going to happen. When it does, get ready for massive food shortages to happen quickly. That means the smart thing to do is prepare for the worst right now. You need emergency food to get you through whatever happens next. And we highly recommend, everyone say it together, My Patriot Supply, America's largest emergency preparedness company. Their kits contain an abundance of delicious food that provide more than 2,000 calories a day. You get breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks. Let me tell you what, all of y'all who grew up with me in like the 1970s, one of those drinks is the highly processed orange breakfast beverage, commonly known as Tang. Anyway, this and snacks. This is something every American family will soon need. Your shipment will ship quickly in unmarked boxes for your privacy. So click on our affiliate link below, but do it now. Don't be a victim. Survive what's coming and avoid government food lines, because as I said earlier, modern agriculture is killing us. Click on our affiliate link below and prepare today.
There we go. That's out of the way. Yay. So now let's talk about coffee, people. Yeah. One of my favorite subjects.
You would not believe how I was introduced to coffee.
Okay.
I've got the best coffee story on the planet. So I was a senior in high school. I hated coffee. My dad drank a pot of it every day. No one else in the family liked it. But as a senior in high school, I was such an overachiever, burning the candle at both ends and all that. I was living on like 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And finally, after I got my third referral to the office for falling asleep in first period Spanish, and which was unlike me because I was almost a straight A student, but I kept falling asleep. And my mom's, now listen, so funny. What would we as parents do? We'd say, well, we need to really look at your activities, maybe cut back. You need to get to bed earlier. My mom says, you need to start drinking some coffee. Nasty stuff. So she went out and bought for me all of remember those international flavors coffees, you know, cafe mocha and Irish cream. So I had like 18 little tins of mostly sugar with coffee in them. And that's how I got introduced to coffee. Anyway, I can't stand that stuff anymore. Blah. But anyway, that's how I got introduced to coffee.
Me? I don't know. I just always grew up drinking coffee. The coffee I really got used to is I spent most of my life in a career in the military. And so Army coffee isn't the greatest. Basically, they used to take this big, like 5-gallon pot, fill it full of water, dump a can of Folgers in it and boil it, and then let it settle and dip the coffee off the top. That's the coffee I was used to.
And when we were first married, we were broke all the time. And so our fancy coffee had U-Ban on the outside of the can.
Yeah.
I think that was even before like flavored creamers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tell us about your coffee. What's your coffee story? Tell us all about you and coffee and Bigfoot coffee and all the things.
Well, Paul and I, we have been in the medical field for over 20 years. So for me, coffee was always a staple. You know, it gets you through your day. Make sure you're, first thing in the morning, first sip of coffee is always the best. So I've been drinking coffee for a long time. Paul didn't really drink coffee until we started our own coffee business. We have a company that we work with that sources our beans. We did some sampling of different single origin coffees, found the ones that we like best, and then we're roasting those now. Our story of how we got started, we've been wanting to do our own thing, have our own business for a long time. But, same as everybody else, we're going to wait until we retire, and then we'll live our lives, do what we want to do at that time. Well, last July, fate had another plan for us. Paul wound up getting COVID pneumonia. He was in the hospital for 6 weeks. He was on life support for 9 days. He did not, he was very close to not making it. Thankfully, he survived. And that kind of told us, life's too short to wait. Do what you want to do now. If you want to go look for Bigfoot, go look for Bigfoot. If you want to, travel, go travel. For us, having our own business and being our own bosses and meeting great people when we go to our events, really is appealing to us. So we decided, heck, why wait? Let's go now and let's do it. So we started our business in December. It's been growing steadily. We go to different events. We're at the Jacksonville market every Sunday. We've got our coffee in a couple stores locally. And then we have a website where we've been shipping all across country. I was talking to him the other day about, I want to get a map of the United States and put where we ship our coffee to, because we're shipping to like Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Hampshire, a lot of places back east. We've shipped to Idaho. It's just really interesting where people are from and their affection for Bigfoot. It's been great. We met Hannah and Scott here at the outdoor show here in Medford, Oregon, a couple months back, and really hit it off with them and decided to collaborate on the dark roast because they love the dark roast. And we named it Squatch America.
Yeah.
And it's really a huge seller at all our events. We go through more darks than we do anything else.
Oh, that makes me feel so happy.
It
Yeah.
does.
Oh,
Well, we going to throw something in the chat here real quick, and we will work this out after we get off air. Hang on, guys, don't leave, and then I will get you in touch. But Donna says, Kim and Paul, how can I get your coffee in my store? Donna owns a store in Vermont, actually. So we'll get you guys hooked up so you can send her some coffee to sell in her store.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Yep.
that's the Harmonyville Country Store, I believe. Isn't that we've
Yeah.
got to get back to New England just so we can do something at her store. That'd be so much
Yep.
fun.
And Donna's a big Bigfoot enthusiast, and in fact,
She's the one who found the Cripplefoot trackway.
that
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that new Cripplefoot, I think I showed
Yeah.
you guys one. Yeah, she's the one who found that. So
That's
Yep.
awesome.
I have my brother lives up in Maine,
Road
northern
trip!
part, and he has he bought this house, but he's been having some sort of a encounter with something across this lake that he's next to. And I heard one of the
The recording.
recording. It's hard to hear, but it's definitely sounds similar to all the different vocalizations that I've heard on Bigfoot. He can't say it, but he says every year about the same time, he starts having almost like a communication at night across the lake with something. And he lives way up there. So it's kind of interesting that he was definitely a skeptic on most things. And he's been having this for about a year and a half now.
oh wow. And what part of Maine?
He's, was it Fort Kent?
Okay, I know exactly.
Kind of
where
way
that-
up there.
Yep.
Caribou, Fort Kent, way up in there.
And
Yep.
what does this look?
What does this look? Yeah, my whole family's from Van Buren, which is right next to Caribou.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So-
This look is the universe is confirming that we need to get
Get
back,
back to
there.
Maine. Yeah.
Dale and Denise would agree with me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have a ton of family back there. in
And we
Maine.
adore
Wow.
them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, my dad's one of those Acadians. He didn't speak English until he was 30, French Canadian. So, yeah.
And then this year we're going to be at the Oregon Bigfoot Festival in Canby in the end of July. We're really excited about that because we went
Yep.
a couple years ago when we weren't in the coffee business, and it was so exciting. It was so interesting to go out there and see all the Bigfoot enthusiasts.
Our last
2
year,
years ago,
no,
we were there.
no,
No.
not two. The last year we were there was 2019.
Was that when you went?
Troutdale.
Was it in
Yeah.
Troutdale? That's the one we went
Yeah,
to.
we went to that one the first year it was there.
We were there.
But we
Oh,
were we were Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research
At
back
that
then.
time, we had a booth that was Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research. Yeah.
awesome.
Ah,
Yep.
So you probably came in.
Yeah, probably.
probably
Yeah,
for sure.
And Cliff came in and looked at our photos and said, "That's a nice blob squat."
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah. And Bobo sitting and admired my truck for a long time.
Your truck is nice, I have to say.
Oh, and it's on its about sixth iteration. of
Yeah.
that truck. It keeps changing form. But anyway, Donna, Donald Fuller, pop that up for Donna in case she did not see it. Donna, someone wants to know where your store is because he's in Georgia, Vermont, and that's where they get the things confused because they name cities after states. It's weird.
Yeah,
But
Georgia,
anyway,
Vermont.
so anyway, we are at
It's not as weird as what it is over here in Eastern Oregon. I don't know if you guys spend a lot of time in Eastern Oregon.
oh, they think we're Greece.
Yeah. For some reason,
And not the
in
movie,
Eastern Oregon, back in the day when they were naming towns, they thought this was Greece. I mean, we have Troy, Sparta. What's the other one?
Athena.
Athena. You know. So all the towns back here in Eastern Oregon are all named after Greek cities for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is the bottom of the hour. Do we have another commercial that
We do.
You just hate these commercials.
I
don't
do. I
you?
hate commercials.
Well, here we go. Let's show this good commercial because it fits.
This one here?
Yeah, that one there.
Okay.
love that.
So, I know. Yeah. So make sure you go to the BigfootCoffeeCompany.net and order your coffee today. We do not get anything for that, but we really want
To support these guys.
Yep. How many bags of coffee are you selling a week right now? You said?
Well, we're at the Jacksonville market on Sundays for about 4.5 hours, and we're selling at least a case every weekend. And we have samples that we ask if they want to try coffee, and who doesn't want to try coffee? I mean, we get people, okay, yeah, try some coffee. And it's so cool to see their look on their face. This one guy the other day, I don't know that he really wanted a sample coffee, but I talked him into it. And so he came over and I'm like, do you want the light, the medium, or the dark roast? And he's like, oh, I'll do the dark roast. So I gave him a little sample of the dark roast, and he took a drink, and I could see his face. He went, oh, this is good. And he took another drink. He wound up buying 2 bags.
Oh,
and
wow.
then he brought his girlfriend back later, and he's like, you got to try this. So then she was like, oh, that is good.
Well, the sampling is what's doing it.
They
So
love
people
it.
see the coffee, they're like, any other coffee, someone's trying to sell. But when we have them take just a little swig of it, it changes their mind instantly. So that's what's really been driving it.
It is really
we've been getting more and more every week coming over to the stand. So it seems like there's kind of hopefully word of mouth, and we're giving out our business cards with everybody also. But what's popular now is coffee cups that we're selling with different sayings on them or logos or all that kind of stuff. And that's been pretty fun to see people's face on those too, reading those.
And then Paul has this really awesome Bigfoot costume.
Yeah, I know.
You'll see pictures of it occasionally on our Facebook site. We actually, he wore it on our boat the other day. We took our boat out to Applegate Lake and did some fishing, but he'll sometimes wear that at the market on Sunday. And sometimes I can't find him. He just wanders just like real Bigfoot. I ask people, have you seen Bigfoot? They're like, yeah, he's over there dancing. So they have live music, and Bigfoot was dancing the other day. So I think people get a kick out of seeing him dance.
He was having a good time just hanging out.
Yeah.
With a mask on, you can do anything you want to, and nobody knows you. So it's just the way to do it. So.
I put it on once, and the guy was like, I thought you'd be taller.
Yeah.
Well, we would love to see your business blow up. So everyone, and Joe, I don't know.
Squatch and Cowboy says,
I don't know what to say about
this.
This.
Not a coffee drinker, like the smell of it though. So buy some and just like put it in.
Have your wife make little sachets and put it in your underwear.
There you go.
Well, but for me, I wasn't a coffee drinker, and so when we started tasting the coffees, I really liked all 3 types that we had. And so Kim will take off to go to work. I'm still at home, still doing the recovery. And I'll take what's left in the coffee pot. I never did that before. And it's just really good. And if he, I could say that he could try it, he would be surprised.
There is a difference. And I will say this because I am a coffee snob, and I have actually gone to formal coffee tastings, and most people's opinion of coffee is formed at local greasy spoon diners where it's just crap. We have a favorite greasy spoon diner, and their food is great, but their coffee's crap. And just about like any restaurant you go to, their coffee's crap. Or you get your Folgers at Dale. Coffee, it's crap. U-Ban, crap. Or you don't know how to brew it right. You don't have your water. But when good coffee that's well roasted and ground correctly, and the water to coffee ratio is just right, you don't need anything in it,
right?
And so
we had a lady try the medium roast the other day, and I'm like, do you take it with cream or sugar? She goes, usually I do, but it's okay, I'll just try this. And she's like, I can drink this without cream and sugar. So she was excited she was going to cut down on her sugar.
That's awesome.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And so, and I have a professional coffee roaster who taught me how to taste coffee. And so now, granted, I do like cream in mine, but I like cream by itself too. So
little known fact, Hannah used to be a barista.
Oh,
that's not who taught me to taste coffee.
At a very crappy coffee store.
Well, it
She was at Starbucks.
I was
She
at
was a Starbucks barista.
But
so-
honestly, on our bucket list, who knows? Might be sooner rather than later. I don't know. But one day we are going to own a coffee shop.
yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
Yep.
People
So-
keep asking us where our store's at. Like we have a store because they want to come. And we're like, well, maybe one of these days we'll have a brick and mortar. But for us, it's about travel and meeting
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
You know,
I still think I could be the Bigfoot barista if we would get a different rig
yeah.
where we could have a really nice toy hauler and we have a mobile coffee shop in the back.
There we go.
Because if we went to at every 1,000 trails we ever go to, if other campers there knew that they could come get their espresso in the morning,
yeah, there we go.
we would make bank everywhere we go. It's true.
talking about those little bicycles with the I forget
Oh,
what
yeah.
they're called, almost like a little golf cart going
Yeah.
around the campgrounds with their
Yeah,
coffee.
there you go.
You know, in the morning.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Oh, wait, that's not it. Donna says it's all about the water. The water here in Vermont is awesome. So,
Donna,
they do have a lot of water back east.
Yes.
Trust me. Yeah.
Donna, I hope they don't put fluoride in the water.
Yeah.
That would make it really awesome. Okay, so we are at what's next?
What do you mean, what's next?
What's next? We got 25 minutes.
Okay. Well, we were talking about coffee.
Talking about coffee, okay.
So, oh, you just put me on the spot. Now I don't know what to do. I was going to look
Anna,
into
do you ever just get beans and grind them yourself?
All
We
the
do.
time. That's our preference.
yeah, I wanted to ask that
Preference,
question.
okay.
Would you guys ever think about just getting back beans?
Yeah, that's our next step.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've been having a bunch come in and wanting to do their own on how they grind it or whatever.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the next plausible step for us.
Will be a dark roast beans.
Yeah, it'll be
beans.
dark roast for sure.
Yeah.
So
I
Everybody
was
likes that.
actually going to say, because of the quality of the dark and the medium roasts, I could almost be persuaded to try the light roast.
Yeah.
I tried light roast when I was when you work at Starbucks, you're required to try everything, and I tried the light roast, and it was just immediately like
Yeah, the blonde or whatever.
yeah, the blonde. But I might have to try the light roast, the Yeti.
Yeah.
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 It's from South America.
Yep. How dark is the dark roast? I don't know. It's dark roast. It's really good, Papa. You
Yeah.
won't regret it.
Yep. Yeah, and Renee also says I like to buy beans. So yeah, and we've always bought when we have a choice, we buy the beans because we have our own coffee grinder
Yeah.
and we
Yeah,
can
that's
grind
our
it.
next step.
Yeah, because we have
We
we have
a
a crazy
problem.
we have a problem with coffee. Yeah,
It's just we need a program.
because we have
something.
like a drip coffee pot, and then we have our own espresso machine, and then I have a
We-
Turkish pot. We have pour over pots, and so we
we
grind
have
it.
French presses, 2 mocha pots.
Yeah.
wow.
So we
Well-
grind our stuff differently depending on what we're going to use. You know,
Right.
The medium's really good as an iced coffee too.
is it?
Mm,
Have to try that.
I love iced coffee.
Do we have any of the medium left? Or
No, well,
we
we
drink
need-
it.
we
So,
And actually, it's kind of weird because we push my Patriot Supply, and of course we like to be prepared. And part of our preparation is having plenty of coffee on board. I don't have room for any more coffee right now.
so-
I literally, it is tucked in every possible nook and cranny in the place.
Mhm.
And so beans and ground, because we should talk to Harvest Hosts, the ones we stay with,
Mhm.
like the wineries and stuff. They should have coffee roasteries.
They should. There you go.
They need to get coffee roasteries. I would love to go to it. Oh, it's probably in Hawaii. I don't think we can take the paddy wagon to Hawaii.
Yeah.
But they have coffee plantations in Hawaii. If there are any coffee plantations in the continental US, I would stay at one. At Papa, the medium roast is really, really good.
So Papa Craig says, I want some of the medium roast. Well, I'll tell you where to get it, Papa. It is
BigfootCoffeeCompany.net.
The medium
And-
is my favorite.
Yeah.
I drink the medium all the time.
And by the way, Papa, if you open your email every Monday or Tuesday, depending on when I get to it, I always have a link to Bigfoot Coffee Company in the emails.
Yeah.
So read your email.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, and if you're not on our email list out there, go to squatchamerica.com and sign up.
Yes. Oh, Donna says she has customers that take her used coffee grounds for gardening and worm. We need to start a worm farm.
There you go.
I just put my first batch of used coffee grounds on our compost bin.
There you go.
So I'm so excited.
Yeah.
You can make fire starters with it.
Oh, and I never heard of that before.
Donna, you should
Making a fire starter with coffee grounds.
You need to teach us how to do
Huh.
that.
Yeah.
We were talking about doing the worm one too, because we go fishing all the time.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to start our own worm farm, so I don't have to pay for worms.
There you go.
Well, that's why we've started our own little. It's almost a hobby farm. All we need are chickens and goats, and we'd have a full-blown hobby farm going here on his mother's property.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to pay for groceries anymore. I'm done with that. And modern agriculture is killing us.
She keeps saying that.
It's this book. So this book, Secrets of the Soil. I was out walking Daisy the other day, and we took a different route. It was one of those weird days where I said, I think I'll take a different route than normal. So we took a different route. There's like this hippie guy about 3 blocks away, just sitting in front of his house, playing his guitar, and he had a table of stuff to give away. And I got this from him. But it makes sense.
So you got to trust a guitar playing hippie.
Why not? Hey, and so anyway. Okay. So
Have you guys been up to the Bigfoot trap up here?
Actually, we have. We got a video on it on
it's
our
on
channel.
our channel somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, we did when we were there for the outdoor show. After the show was over, we stayed another day or two in the area, and we went out and checked it out.
Yep, it was fun.
Yeah, we're gonna go up with the costume and take a picture of Bigfoot in the trap.
There we go. That's great.
That's brilliant. I like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Do you know what was really interesting is we actually had a tree knock happen while we were there.
Yep.
I had went into the trap. There he is. So I had went into the trap, and I came back out of the trap, and the gate that they have, they got it bolted up so it won't fall down anymore. But I had banged my backpack on the gate, and it made a big clang sound. And then just only like 10 or 15 seconds later, we heard this tree knock off in the woods.
I will put that. I will in next week's newsletter, email newsletter. I will put a link to that video so that people can watch it again.
Yep.
I think it's really funny how people don't really look at things when they're looking at you, because when he's in the booth dressed like this, he'll say hi, and people will just go, "Oh hi."
Yeah.
Oh hi.
Oh hi.
I do a double take. He can just be talking to someone, and they don't even notice he's talking to Bigfoot.
I know.
It was really cute. Last weekend, there was a little autistic boy. He had to have been like 10 or 11. And I saw him looking at Paul from across the way, just staring at him. And then I said, Paul, go out in front of the booth. So this little kid comes over, and he's got this like big old eyes. And he's like, I knew you were real. And he was just so happy. He was just so excited to see Bigfoot. And he's asking him all these questions. Do you ever get scared out in the woods by yourself? And, he was asking him a lot of questions. It was really cute.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what? This is totally not about the science or anything, but I think one of the things that I enjoy most about what we do, about what you guys do, and I'm sure you'll agree, is that we actually get to bring joy. Who knew that? Did you ever consider the fact that your geeky Bigfoot obsession and research bent would actually bring joy to people.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of that?
Well, not generally, but yeah,
But I mean, think about it. In today's world, we get to bring not just entertainment, because entertainment isn't joy, but we get to bring, like that little boy. I mean, in a very dark world, we get to bring light.
yeah.
And who knew that light would come in the form of Bigfoot?
I know. yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of, like, when we have booths and stuff, kids come in and
Like
just,
that little girl in Eugene, Nova, terrified. But after 2 hours of interacting with her, she was finally going up and hugging the big Bigfoot on the leg.
yeah.
And it was so much fun to see her come out of her shell and do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny, all the people that want to take pictures with him.
Yep.
Little old ladies. This one guy, I guess his kids call him Bigfoot or something, or he really likes Bigfoot. So they're like, can we take a picture and send a picture to our dad? Like, okay. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And that Bigfoot drinks, you know what? That Bigfoot likes coffee is more important to me than Bigfoot liking, pepper sticks.
Yeah. yeah.
Daryl can go find a new career.
Yeah. Oh, I love that logo you guys have of the Bigfoot and the hat and the coffee.
Thank you. We have a guy, he's a graphic artist out of Asheville, back east. His name is Travis Clement. His Sprouted Scribbles is his company, and he does all of those logos with the Bigfoot with the hat,
Uh-huh.
the one of him in the bus and everything. He's great.
Sponsored scribbles.
Sprouted Scribbles.
Oh, sprouted scribble.
Asheville, North Carolina.
Ooh,
Cool.
North Carolina. We got to get back there. Ooh.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So it's kind of fun. Don just said, once Bigfoot sat down, he said, the Sasquatch question has been answered.
Oh, no.
There you go.
All right.
So
Well, this has been a
this
super.
is the first time we've actually had Bigfoot on our channel. So
Hey, we might be the first Bigfoot YouTube channel to actually have Bigfoot on.
There we go.
Well, thank you for having us.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on. This has been a super, super fun show. They're usually pretty entertaining, but this was just pure fun.
Yeah.
Pure fun.
So hang tight. I will get you Donna's info.
And we're a little early tonight, but it feels like we're winding down.
Yeah. So any questions from the chat room, people? You got 5 minutes. Go. And go. Okay.
Here, put me in the box.
Okay, there we go.
Here is Bigfoot Coffee Company.net.
.net.
There is their URL, so you can copy and paste that into your browser right now. Get ready to order your coffee. And I tell you what, they ship really fast. What's today? Today is Thursday. I had people on Monday order coffee, and they were trying it by this morning. So those are my Idaho peeps.
Yeah.
We ship, if not the same day, the very next day.
Cool. That's awesome. Cool.
So
I am waiting.
well, while we're
Okay.
waiting, why don't we make our little announcements?
What's our announcements?
All right. So
Oh, okay. I remember.
Raptor, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Coffee is now cheaper than gasoline, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as you all know, our travel plans have changed for a variety of reasons. One being gasoline, two because his mom's house has a murderous vendetta against her and is trying to kill her, and we are you have no idea. We are pretty much rebuilding the house one little room at a time.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, so sadly we're not going to the Falk Monster Fest this year, but we did get an invitation to Beachfoot in Alsea, Oregon, which is over on the coast. And that is by invitation only. It is a gathering of Bigfoot researchers. And that will be at the end of August. And so, with all the projects going on here and that coming up, we are going to be taking a YouTube break during the month of June. So that we would like to have if we could have everything on the property done by the time we go to this conference, that would be fabulous.
Yeah, and when we're at the conference, we're going to be
completely off grid.
So
we really want to put our nose to the grindstone, get all the property work done, and then go off to that conference. And we will be back on the air on Thursday. Now, I will still be sending out weekly newsletters, and with a couple video recommendations and keeping you updated on what we're doing. But we are going to take a YouTube break in June.
All right. And thank you, Raptor Crazy. And thank you guys from BigfootCoffeeCompany.net.
Yes. And thanks to all of you, because you know what? As performers, we're both performers, by the way.
Yeah, little known fact that nobody knows really, but in a prior career,
in our pre-COVID lives,
I actually was a professional stage magician for quite a few years,
and a high school theater teacher,
which really is lucky. When people try to hoax me, I'm like, I think I know that trick. And
I was a choir director. So we're very attuned to performance chemistry, and this is something that happens even on YouTube. Is we can feel, as we put out energy, we can feel energy either coming back or not coming back. And honestly, the show would not be as good as it is if it wasn't for all of you. And so we are so very grateful for your support. Would you stop that? You keep flipping things around. So with all that said, until we see you in a month, thank you so much for being with us, for liking and subscribing and sharing and all those things. Let's see if by the end of the summer we can get to 2,000 subs. And you're going to say goodbye now?
I am. So bye, Kim and Paul. Hang tight. Don't go anywhere.
And just to remind everyone, our job is to investigate the unexplained,
not to explain the uninvestigated.
So until we see you again, you keep watching and
we'll keep squatching.
Bye.